Hey 101 students, today in this unit we're going to be working with definition. Sometimes I like to refer to this as the creation essay because you're really creating a new idea, and that's essential for good writing. When I think of definition, or when many people think of definition, they often think of opening up a dictionary and finding the meaning to a word. And they may even think about a secondary meaning or a tertiary meaning. But the reality is definition goes far beyond simply what the dictionary says. In fact, the denotation is just one example of what a word might mean. And we call that the denotation. I like to remember denotation is for the dictionary. Connotation, however, is the cultural definition of something. It has a little bit different meaning. A good example of this is the word cool. The denotation is tepid, which means lukewarm. The connotation is it's good. If something is cool, it's good. There's lots of words that go in and out of fashion with that. But a definition essay goes beyond that to giving examples of what they mean by the definition, giving analogies, and also giving examples of what it is not. And it seems like that's kind of a waste of time. Doesn't everybody know what something is not? But it actually is an extremely effective method of explaining what you mean by a word. So let me give you an example. I always recommend to begin with an intangible noun. That is something that you cannot touch. Any noun that you cannot touch is a good thing to try to define, because by its essence you can't really pigeonhole it. You can't confine it to a space. So I chose the word jealousy as my intangible noun. The denotation for jealousy is fearful of being supplanted. And that makes sense, because when people are feeling jealous, it's usually because they fear someone else is going to encroach on their own territory, right? The connotation, however, of jealousy is that someone wants what you have. Right? Somebody sees something that you have, your house, your boyfriend, your car, and they want that from you. It makes you a little bit uneasy when people are jealous. It's a little bit of stalker undertones to that. An example of jealousy is in dating relationships or in possessions. That is very, very common. What do people sometimes do when they experience jealousy? They try to steal something from you. Again, it hints at this denotation, but as well goes into the connotation. I like also the use of analogy because it further defines what you mean by a word. So what I do is I give this kind of SAT example. If admiration is like adrenaline, admiration for somebody is when you see somebody doing something you think, I want to do that too. Watching the Olympics, watching these people fly up in the air after going off a ski jump is amazing to me. I don't think I'm going to be doing it anytime soon, but it basically gives me adrenaline to try new things. But if admiration is adrenaline, jealousy is like cancer. So what I did here is I analogized ideas or emotions to the body and what happens when the body experiences these things. This drives home this notion of how very, very bad and powerful jealousy can be. It's quiet, it's deadly, it grows and spreads. Yeah. Negation. Here are some examples of what jealousy is not. It's not envy. Everyone experiences envy. Everyone looks and says, wow, I wish I had done this, or wow, that looks like a lot of fun, or if I were younger, I would do blankety blank. But it's also not short-lived. Envy is short-lived, right? Until you take the big idea into account. Jealousy is long-lived. Jealousy is not just envy. Jealousy is not when you say, oh, I wish I had blankety blank, or I want blankety blank. It's when you go further and you allow it to fester. So that would be an entire essay that I could write on what jealousy is, and I'm further defining it. You have a couple of essays that you've already read, Diane Ackerman's Pain, and then Gloria Naylor's work on the use of words and how they're used depends upon who's saying them, that you can review and take a look at to see how you should structure your own essay. And that's how you're going to write your definition or comparison and contrast essay.